Right now at noon, severe weather sweeping across southern Wisconsin. We're surveying the damage and track what's yet to come on this alert day. Plus, the man accused of abducting a Beaver Dam teenager is being held on a $2 million bond, the latest from the Dodge County courtroom. And why Head Start programs across the country are facing uncertainty from federal spending cuts. This is News 3 Now at noon. Severe weather tearing across our viewing area this morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. We've gotten dozens of videos from you at home showing us massive hail and the destruction that followed. Let's take a look at this viewer video showing us a mother and her daughter sitting in their car just after the hail cracked their windshield. And this is just one of the many videos that we have gotten from you at home today. One car dealer tells us they lost roughly $2 million in inventory across 4 locations in Greene and Rock counties. News 3 Now's Ellie LaLiberte is live on one of those lots right now. Ellie, what are you seeing?
Yeah, hey Josh, well you just saw that impressive image of that hail coming down. Well, here's the result of that. You can see these dents just littered across the hood of this car here, the windshield cracked, and even the side mirror here completely torn off. Now we're at the Simden Chevrolet dealership here in Evansville. I talked to the president just a little bit ago, and he told me that nearly every car on this lot sustained some type of damage. Now in the 4 locations they have, as you said, in Greene and Rock counties, nearly 250 cars saw some type of damage. The president says the sheer size of the hail is what can cause that type of destruction.
I was in complete shock. You know, I thought a hailstorm would have been a little bit smaller, but the size of the hail here caused a lot more damage than even I anticipated, you know. And even some of our buildings have some damage on the roof, I believe, too. Wow.
Yeah, and the next steps here, of course, getting all of those cars fixed. This dealership does have an auto body shop here, but the president says they're going to have to call in additional resources to get all of those vehicles fixed. They've already had about 25 calls from the community needing to get their own personal cars fixed. The owner tells me they're hoping to have the cars on this lot fixed between a month to 6 weeks or so. But it's not only this dealership dealing with these issues. We were at the Ford dealership up the street just a little bit ago. I spoke with someone there who said it's a near total loss of inventory. We'll continue to follow this damage throughout the rest of our shows this evening here at 4, 5, and 6. But for now, reporting live in Evansville, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
All right, Ellie, thank you. Let's get an update on this alert day now from First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Wild day already, Jacob, and I mean, some of these images are pretty incredible.
Yeah, this morning was definitely a pretty crazy one, especially for areas just south of Madison where the strongest hail was reported. Here's a look at some photos. This one was sent in from Platteville showing that hail roughly about the size of golf balls. Now here's another photo actually measuring the hail up to 3 inches in diameter. This was sent in from Evansville. And then we have another photo actually comparing it to the size of golf balls, roughly the same size of it. This was sent in from New Glarus. So yeah, definitely a pretty dangerous storm rolled through earlier, but right now we're not seeing anything. Now that doesn't mean we're not going to see anything going forward, but now maybe the calm before the next storm, although we kind of already had a storm, so it's a little bit a calm between the storms. We also are very mild right now, middle to upper 60s, even some lower 70s. Right now it is pretty cloudy here in Madison. We have seen some sunshine earlier, but as we take a look at future track, we are expecting some more of these pop-up showers and storms to form, especially for areas from Madison and then places east and southeast of that. Some of these storms could continue to produce large hail and strong winds. Can't rule out an isolated tornado either. And this is going to continue through the evening until about sunset, and then only far eastern counties will be seeing some storms after sunset, but we may continue to see some rain showers a little bit later in the night, especially for areas north of Madison. But once we get to Saturday morning, it does look like we will dry up. So we're not quite done with the storms just yet, and we still have an alert day in the forecast because of it. I'll continue talking more about that, though, coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, we'll see you in Maine weather. Thank you. Now to some of our other headlines this afternoon. The man accused of kidnapping a pregnant Beaver Dam teenager now has a $2 million bond. This after 40-year-old Gary Day made his first appearance in Wisconsin courtroom Thursday. It comes after police arrested Day in Nebraska with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin. The criminal complaint says that Franklin told police she's engaged to Day and pregnant with his baby. Day denies being the father of her child.
Court finds that defendant presents an extreme flight risk and an extreme risk to this victim and other potential victims.
Day is facing several charges in Wisconsin, 2 counts of child enticement and abduction of a child. He's already on probation for child abuse in Arkansas. His next court appearance is Wednesday. Authorities in Florida are searching for a motive after a student opened fire on the Florida State University campus. 2 people are dead and 6 others injured. The suspected gunman is the stepson of a deputy county sheriff. That's how he had access to the weapon. President Trump offered condolences, but he also commented that he has the obligation to the Second Amendment, saying, quote, "The gun doesn't do the shooting, the people do."
It still honestly hasn't really settled that those guns were real and people died.
A mass event like this that's, right outside at our own university really hits close to home.
Officials say the two dead weren't students there. That surgeon involved with the survivors' care says they are all expected to recover. A federal court is indicting Luigi Mangione on murder charges, stalking, and a firearms offense. The 26-year-old is accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on December 4th. Mangione pleaded not guilty to murder and terrorism charges in New York. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Department of Justice is seeking the death penalty. He faces both federal and state charges. We're learning more about an accidental shooting that led to the death of a teenage victim and the arrest of a 17-year-old. On Thursday morning, Madison police officers found one person shot in a parking lot on Fish Hatchery Road near the SSM Health Clinic. The victim died in the hospital. Police say it appeared to be an accidental shooting between friends.
This was a case of people who shouldn't have been in possession of a firearm, who clearly did not understand safe weapons handling skills, and it ended in tragedy.
Police have not released the name and age of the victim. They're still investigating whether the 17-year-old owned the gun or got it from someone else. Senator Tammy Baldwin says the Trump administration is withholding $35 million from the Wisconsin Head Start centers. Her office says that is a 50% cut. Head Start centers serve nearly 15,000 kids and their families across the state. Grants for these programs are usually renewed at the same time each year. In 2024, $70 million in Head Start funding went to Wisconsin centers through April 15th. But this year, only $45 million went out. It comes as the Trump administration is looking to eliminate Head Start entirely. A Wisconsin man hopes to inspire others to make sure healthcare wishes are shared with their loved ones in case of a medical crisis. At 37, Eric Sarno suffered a brain hemorrhage and needed 5 surgeries at UW Hospital. His healthcare wishes were not clear, and it caused unnecessary stress for his family. Fortunately, Sarno was able to recover thanks to the medical team, friends, and family. Now in his 50s, he wants others to learn from his experience.
Sometimes you'll find that your goals aren't the same as your family and friends' goals. And so you really want to try to get those things aligned. And I think advanced care planning is a good way to go to align those goals, those wants, those needs.
UW Health says only about 50% of primary care patients with them who are 65 and older have a power of attorney for health care on file. The Department of Workforce Development is releasing Wisconsin's March employment report. The numbers of non-farm jobs in the state increased by 10,000 positions, but that puts total non-farm jobs at more than 3 million positions. The unemployment rate remained unchanged at 3.2%. That is 1 point below the national unemployment rate. Forward Madison is getting ready to kick their season off this weekend. The team's official home opener is tomorrow. That's at 6 p.m. at Breese-Stevens Field. They're going head-to-head against Texoma FC. Forward Madison is looking to add another win to their record, while Texoma is hopeful to turn around their slow start to the season.
We've got some new fan experience stuff, and so we have a petting zoo, face painter, or balloon artist at every game for fans, family, kids to enjoy, and then a live DJ in-house, DJ Andre. Will be spinning tunes at every game.
Tickets can be found on Forward Madison's website. They start at $25 per person. Well, we are in the final stretch of our New Street Out Community Baby Shower as we partner with Babies and Beyond of Wisconsin. The nonprofit provides free materials and supplies to pregnant women and families with children up to the age of 4. Executive Director Brenda Collins says they serve 1,300 families or babies a month. Today is the last day to donate baby and toddler essentials. We're looking specifically for gently used clothing, strollers, high chairs, swings, and most importantly, larger size diapers and baby wipes. The center is located at 1922 South Stoughton Road in Madison. You can donate anytime today until 4 o'clock. Still ahead for us on a Friday afternoon, more Alert Day coverage from the First Warn Weather Team, and in Money Watch, the massive beating on Wall Street for United Health.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Moving forward.
United Health took a massive beating on Wall Street. The stock plunged by about $130, a drop of more than 22%. It was the healthcare giant's worst one-day performance in a quarter century, triggered by a worse-than-expected first quarter. President Trump discussed tariffs with Italy's prime minister during her visit to the White House. He told Giorgia Meloni he's in no rush to reach trade deals with foreign nations because tariffs are generating revenue. Meloni was the first European leader to meet face-to-face with Donald Trump to try to work out a trade agreement. And burn injuries triggered a massive recall of 429,000 wireless Casely PowerPod phone chargers. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says their lithium batteries can overheat and ignite. They were sold between March 2022 and September 2024. If you have one, you're urged to stop using it immediately. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
No stock report today as the market is closed for the holiday weekend. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Well, with the iconic terrace chairs back at the Memorial Union, it is time for a party. UW-Madison is hosting it at the Memorial Union Terrace this afternoon. There will be performances from a DJ and the UW Marching Band. And of course, Bucky will be in attendance. The event is free and open to the public from 3 to 6 this evening. Plus, there will be a fish fry out of Lakeview Lounge starting at 4. Some former Wisconsin Badgers will be looking for their names to be called during the NFL draft. That includes safety Hunter Wooler. Wooler is one of 3 former Badgers expected to hear his name called in this year's draft. He's been playing for 4 years with the Badgers, but before that, he was a standout safety at Muskego High School. That's where he helped lead the Warriors to back-to-back state titles. Here's what our Packers correspondent Jason Wilde has to say about Wooler's draft standing.
All these draft experts have varying opinions of where he's going to go. Some think he could go as early as the 3rd round, others toward the end of day 3 in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. So I would just say this about Hunter Wooler, just like I would say way back in the day about Jimmy Leonard. I'm not betting against this guy. And so I expect him wherever he lands, wherever he's drafted, to find success in the NFL.
Don't forget, News 3 Now will be covering the NFL draft in Wisconsin all next week. We'll have team coverage from Eric Franke, sports director Zach Hanley, along with Andrew Banstra, and our Packers contributor Jason Wilde. They'll have the sights, sounds, and strategy leading up to next week's draft picks. Up next at noon, Jacob has the update to the Alert Day forecast. Then later on Live at 4, we have reporters on the ground surveying storm damage across southern Wisconsin. Pam Yankee's out of the radio barn on vacation, and the markets are closed in honor of Good Friday. We'll have the latest numbers for you next week. Well, our Alert Day coverage continues now at noon. First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano is here with an update on storm chances yet to come today, Jacob.
Yeah, we still have that alert day through the afternoon, mainly for areas east and southeast of Madison. The southeastern portion of Wisconsin will see the strongest storms going forward. Still could see some large hail and strong winds within some of these thunderstorms. And we also can't rule out an isolated tornado. Now, again, this is for Friday afternoon, but it will continue into the evening hours as well. Taking a look at the severe weather outlook, they have decreased it from a slight risk to a marginal risk for everybody, but we still have that chance of severe weather continuing for the afternoon hours. Now, as we take a look at the current radar, we're not seeing any redevelopment yet, but we are expecting that within the next few hours or so. So taking a look at future track, we'll see some of these pop-up showers and storms develop in the middle afternoon. Again, especially from Madison and areas to the east and southeast, where we will see the best chance of these showers and storms continuing through the evening. Also, still can't rule out an isolated tornado, although that is very unlikely. It mostly will be strong winds and large hail from these thunderstorms. Now, once we get to around sunset, still could see see some lingering showers and storms for far eastern counties, but after sunset, the severe weather risk will significantly decrease, but we may continue to see some light showers for areas north of Madison during the overnight hours. Also want to point out that places north and west could still see some rain, but you folks are likely not going to see the severe weather. Now, any lingering showers do look to dry up by the time we get to Saturday morning. And then for much of Saturday, we are going to be dry. But for Easter Sunday, we're going to start out dry, and that's about the only good news for Easter Sunday, because once we get to the afternoon, we'll see consistent rain move into our area. Maybe a few breaks here and there, but overall, I would say any plans you have from the middle afternoon through the evening will likely be severely impacted by this rainfall. Again, maybe areas further southeast might be dry for a longer period of time, but once we get to the later evening and early overnight hours, we're going to see plenty of rainfall. Not expecting any severe weather. Could see a few rumbles of thunder, but it's mostly going to be moderate to heavy shower activity. And once we get towards midnight, that initial heavy rain looks to clear out briefly, but we're still going to see some lingering showers as we head into Monday morning. But the heaviest will be just after sunset Sunday through midnight. Now, as we get towards Monday morning, we're really only going to see rain in the morning, and then we are going to see dry conditions for the afternoon. Now, with all that precipitation, you know, the rain we're going to see the rest of today and for Easter Sunday, we're expecting plenty of rainfall over the next 7 days, possibly up to 2 inches, depending on where some of these showers and storms form today. Now, as we take a look at the Easter forecast, kind of recap it, it does look like it will be dry for the morning, but temperatures will be on the cooler side, only in the lower 40s, and then highs are only going to rise into the lower 50s. And like I mentioned, especially by the middle afternoon and evening hours, we're expecting plenty of rainfall. So not an ideal forecast for the Easter Sunday, but the good news is that although we will still be cool Monday, temperatures are going to warm up after Monday, but we are going to see several small chances of rainfall. Right now, nothing looks concrete after that Sunday to Monday rain, just a few small chances here and there. But the good news is that temperatures do look to be a lot better, possibly in the middle to upper 60s for some days. And as we get towards next weekend, we're going to see a kind of similar forecast with those small rain chances. So alert day conditions are going to continue for today with that possibility of severe weather, although it does look like some of the strongest storms, depending on where you're located, areas, you know, further southwest, you folks will likely have seen the strongest storms in the already come to an end with those storms this morning. So the alert day mainly for Madison areas to the east. But hopefully we don't get anything quite as bad as we did this morning. Although I do have to admit, Josh, at least for Madison, I feel like we haven't had a good thunderstorm since before winter. So it was nice to, you know, see that rainfall. Obviously here in Madison, the hail wasn't as bad as some areas further south. But, you know, we definitely need the rainfall. So there's always got to look on the bright side in some situations.
I know my yard is going to love all the rain, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling for those folks that had damage today.
Yeah, it might look a little bit greener, though, as we get throughout the day.
Especially with the warmer temperatures. All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, a federal judge is ruling Google violated antitrust laws and illegally built a monopoly power with its web advertising business. The Justice Department in 17 states sued over the issue. The ruling could force Google to divest part of its online ad business. Google is likely to appeal. The FTC says Americans lost $470 million to text message scams last year. The most commonly reported scams involved fake package delivery, bogus job opportunities, and wrong number scams. The FTC says people should avoid interacting with unexpected texts or links they receive. Now let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you haven't completed your menu for this weekend yet, then put down the remote, grab a cup of coffee, and pay close attention. I have a question for you. Is there a dish that you always seem to order whenever you go out, but for one reason or another, you never make it when you're at home? Well, for me, that's stuffed shrimp. After making it recently and realizing how easy it is, I was hooked. It's so good, as a matter of fact, I think it would be the perfect addition to your Good Friday or Easter dinner lineup. To make it, all we do is combine some crab meat with breadcrumbs, a bit of finely chopped celery, a little mayo, a shake of Worcestershire sauce, lemon juice, and a few spices. After that's mixed, we set it aside for a sec while we shell some large shrimp, leaving the tails on. Then with a paring knife, we cut a slit down the back of each shrimp, about halfway through, just deep enough to stuff. Now we mound a heaping teaspoon of the stuffing into the slit and gently pack it down. Right before dinner, we drizzle them with melted butter, sprinkle on a little paprika, and into the oven they go. Once the shrimp turns pink and the filling gets golden, they're ready to serve. So what do you say you go online and get the recipe for our baked overstuffed shrimp so you can impress your gang with an easy yet fancy restaurant favorite? I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a special way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's Jacob with a final check of the forecast.
Thanks, Josh. Still have the alert day for the afternoon with the chance of some isolated showers and thunderstorms that could be severe, especially for areas east of Madison. Also going to be very mild throughout the rest of today. Then dry for Saturday, but very likely going to see rain, especially by the afternoon and evening for Easter. Might be dry in the morning, but then for Monday, we'll see that rain continue early and then clearing out by the afternoon with mild temperatures after that.
Thanks for joining us today at noon. We're back with more weather coverage live at 4.